Welcome to the Remodeler Success Podcast, a show created to inspire kitchen and bath industry professionals to achieve optimal success in their remodeling business. Your host, Dennis Oz, is the author of the book, Remodel Your Digital Marketing, an integrated online marketing guide for kitchen and bath remodelers. He's also the founder of RTA Marketing, a pioneer digital marketing agency for the remodeling industry. On each episode, Dennis will sit down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, the lessons they learned, and how to find success in remodeling.
Welcome back to the Remodeler Success Podcast, where we dive into the successful stories of design and build from remodelers and all construction companies. I'm so excited. So it's a really remarkable day today because I'm hosting a guest today. She really has her own game, like started with the little company and grow that company into top 500 designable company in the United States with over 15 and maybe more than that years of experience leading operations. She's really successfully scaled the business while building the systems like how to get a better profitability and also like hiring teams and managing departments and all these making these financial decisions too. So it's going to be like a really excited agenda today because my questions is really interesting. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy this. Please join me welcoming Teri McDermott. Teri, welcome to the show.
Well, Dennis, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and to share as much as I can and give back to our wonderful community.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're at the right place, Teri. And Teri, when I look at your background and read about you, you're one of the guests that I felt really most seriously excited about having you at the show. I also want all our audience to learn a little bit about you. Could you please introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, great. Well, let's see. I from Washington. That's where our company is. I've been around construction for, 30 plus years. I hate to admit it. Um, and started out in the commercial construction industry and moved over to residential remodeling because I wanted to make people's lives, wanted to make their dreams come to be reality. And so, gosh, I've had my own business since 2000 and got purchased CRD in 2019 and we tripled its size in the last 5 years.
Amazing. This is amazing. We're going to talk about CRD as well,
Mhm.
because I'm sure that it's an amazing journey with you too. Let's dive in right away. With all these things happening and with all this, the experiences that you have,
Mhm.
what are the financial decisions you made early that really help you grow, that create that sustainability for the grow? And also, I'm not asking these questions only for the revenue wise, I'm also asking the profit wise as well.
Right. So, one of the things that I truly believe in is having standard operation procedures and cost tracking. Huge. Those are the two things that will save you and you can go back to for accountability and really hold your team accountable so that they can help grow the team and you can work with them. And people actually get excited about being held accountable. And so really focusing on those processes and cost tracking, huge.
So when you say tracking the costs,
Mm.
dive a little more into that one.
Sure. So for every job that we do, we estimate it. And as we go through the production of the project, we look at it every 2 weeks to find out how are we doing on our labor hours and dollars. Are our subs are they sending in the bills? Are they matching our budget? Are we over in materials? Are the guys spending too much time going out to the store to get stuff? Are they not planning? There's just so many things that you can get from the financial numbers. The numbers are the numbers. Yeah, you can play with them, but they're still the numbers. The bottom line is about.
That's right. Well, I think you also mentioned that, we're going to dive more into KPIs and key performance indicators, but let's talk about this. One thing that I realized about your company and your structure,
Mhm.
you have the design and the construction in-house. I'm sure it help you to stay on budget. What do you think about this? Do you think it's like a really big contributing factor for better margins?
Oh, it's huge for margins because you can manage the process from beginning to end. And so, if you're on a job site and you've hired an architect, you might have to wait 3 days. So that's costing you money before they might get back to you. Also, we can do things in house that we don't have to pay to have done outside and pay a premium to have that work done. And we are meeting our clients' needs by doing that. We are the one-stop shop. I think we are what I like to call an ideal design build company.
Wow.
And so, you don't want to have to get your plans and then try to find somebody to build it, right? And from a perspective of a business owner who is trying to look to make better money, I would bring everything in house for sure. You have control over everything and that makes a huge difference, not only revenue, but gross profit and net profit.
So when you look at these, also, I'm sure that just like you said, not every department should be in-house, right? Also, some of them should be maybe could be third parties, right? Do you also support getting those third parties sometimes, like instead of doing it in-house? Do you also support or follow that path on more third parties? And then are you getting any benefit out of that one as well?
Yeah. So the one thing that we don't do structural engineering here. And then there are some subcontractors that we just use because that's not our expertise, right? So we don't do plumbing, we don't do electrical, we don't do HVAC. We let those people do that and get their own permits, and work with us. Absolutely.
This is great. This is amazing. I'm sure our listeners here today, even they maybe watching, they're also learning from this one because we cannot be the jack of all trades. Of course, there are some good things that we can do in house. Maybe the things that you really most find enjoyable could be in house, right? But the things that you don't even like, just like that plumbing, for example, folks, if you're just here and trying to understand all these growth factors of a business, it's not being jack of all trades for sure, just like Terry described here. So I believe that's a very important thing that you can get from the answer. It's very important. All right. Also, Terry, let's talk about this KPI a little more. What we've seen also in the industry, this is based on my also personal experience exhibiting on KBIS, also IBS, different shows. I hear, and also our listeners here share a lot of different things. They're really good at building, but they struggle with running a profitable business. Actually, to really track, like a really close traction that you have on some financial KPIs. What are those to make sure that you are profitable?
So number one is gross profit. We are constantly watching gross profit on our change orders, making sure that we're just not doing change orders and giving them to the clients, right? We're making sure that we are charging for our change orders, making sure our guys just aren't doing them, like I said. And then production efficiency, are you on schedule? Because that's a KPI that can kill you. If you don't keep your schedule, those are the three main ones that we watch. I mean, gross profit for us is huge. Again, I look at that every 2 weeks.
Right. I'm sure that is also important. Some of the KPIs also has some influence other KPIs. So we are looking at the costs and everything. Maybe you will see a strange, I would say, change on costs, and you can go there as a business owner. You can go there and understand what's really changing, what's affecting that change. Maybe that change could be for better, or maybe it's for worse. Of course, we would like to understand what's the contributing factor to this change, but I'm sure looking at a closer look, like you said, is always better, right? We should not let go any of our KPIs. They always have to be in front of us and we have to look at them, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah, 100%. You got to be looking at key things all the time. And then, what the other thing that I think is huge is hours. Hours is a great KPI to look at because you can quickly, once you get delayed on a job, right? So a KPI is your job delayed. Okay. If it's delayed, why is it delayed, right? Then that can lead to an hours KPI, just like you were saying. Once you see one, you can start digging in. So then, I'll give a really good example I kind of mentioned earlier, which was one thing that we realized is our guys in the field weren't pre-planning. So they weren't doing what I call 3-week and 4-week outlooks. And so they would go to the store every day, right? So then what happens? Their hours went up, job got delayed, and so if there's like a domino effect to that. So yes, KPIs, creating KPIs for your company is huge.
That's perfect. Thanks so much for sharing these golden nuggets with us. Just want to talk about a little more about hiring. We're really big on that as well because it's just like a person that you created successful teams and managing those teams. That's your strong suit. Let me ask you, to be able to be a one-stop shop, do you think that differs from one business to another, or do you have your favorite positions that you have to hire when you're scale? What are these roles? Because I have a follow-up question about that.
Okay. So let me clarify. Are you asking me like, do I have certain triggers for when
No,
I hire
positions,
somebody?
key positions that I'm asking, the key positions that
Oh,
you
key
require to hire the most. Yes. Yeah.
yes. Oh my goodness. Key positions for us are lead carpenters and interior designers. Those are the two that I could not live without,
Perfect.
for sure.
Let's talk about the hiring process first, because this is a very big thing. I'm sure that most of our listeners here in the construction industry, could be a design and build company or construction company. They rely on their network, or sometimes they do advertise on different hiring platforms. What's your like magic bullet over there? Do you have anything that you use?
So, honestly, where we've had our most success the past 2 years is on Indeed. Then that's who we use. We do have a very vigorous hiring process here. We get all of our leads, or we get all of our applicants in, and then we have somebody in HR who has a set of questions for every position that we have within our company, and they go through those questions. And if it seems like they want to move on, then for an interior designer, then it would go to our design manager, and then she would evaluate and make a call, and then she would meet with them, and then we would have another interior designer and an architect come in and meet with them, and then they would get together. The design manager, architect, and interior designer would get together, say, okay, yay or nay. And then we would have them come back, and either they're going to get hired or they're not. So,
That's the final decision right there, right?
yeah.
That's perfect. That's great. So as you can see, folks, there's a process here. And I'm sure, Terry, I will also ask you how you assess people when you look at them and assess their suitability and their, maybe they could be a good candidate, but they not be a great fit for the company culture. You also take raw.
Yes, 100%. So we have a huge culture accountability here at CRD. We have a mission, and we have a vision, and we have core values. And it's super important that they meet our core values. We hire, we fire, we do bonuses, we do everything by our core processes, or our core values.
And I believe having those core values and the core processes is also contributing to our company culture. Is that correct?
100%. Everything we do. And I'll tell you what, this probably isn't in alignment with this question, but I'll give out a little something we do at company
Please,
meetings.
please, please, please.
Um, we have our core values, and during our company meeting, we ask our people to shout out our other employees. So it's just all employees, all of us in a room, and everybody shouts everybody out based on a core value, like community. Somebody will say, "Oh, Jim took the subcontractors donuts," and or we have so we just do that back and forth. And then I give out raffle tickets, and then we do raffles for gift cards. So if you want to fun for your team, that's a great way to do it. And people will out other people out, and then people get excited. Sometimes it goes on for like a half an hour. And then I'm like, okay, guys, save them for next time.
That's great. Folks, I'm sure that you're learning a lot of great things from today. today. And thank you so much for sharing all these. These are interesting facts as well, folks.
Mhm.
Look, I'm sure when you start from scratch, those are not the things that you're going to get overnight. But learning things from people like Terry, it will just really take you there because the things that has been here in effect is already been tried and it's already been confirmed that is effective. So just try to understand. I'm sure that is going to be an episode that is going to be listened for over and over for some of the people. I'm sure that is tuning into this. So thank you so much for this. Let's dive into pricing a little bit. Again, we are talking about financials and we are talking about HR. Let's talk
Mhm.
about the pricing strategy. Oh, and I have some questions about marketing as well. But this pricing here, what we see is if a seller is just like a company, if you just really sell the value instead of just chasing low price bid, you ended up eating the profits at the end of the day. And most of the remodelers really discount so fast. So what's your take on pricing strategy?
What we always tell our clients is, you know, that we really talk about how we're going to do or how we're going to meet their needs and their wants. And our sales team is trained on just really focusing in on our finishes, our warranty, our workmanship, and everything that they're going to get from us. So, we don't let we try not to let them discount us. When they say, "Oh, we don't want to do this because of this," and we'll come back with, no, well, let's talk about countertops. So let's just say they're like, oh, we don't want this huge countertop. We'll help them pick out a countertop that meets their needs, but we're not going to sacrifice our price. We're not going to discount that, you know, for them. We're going to get them where they want to go. Does that answer that question?
Exactly. Yes, definitely. That's a great answer. And a big part of it all, just like you said, I believe being in the process, right?
Exactly.
So
Just really, our goal, if you look at our website, and I think any website, the goal should be education. Educate your client, who you're providing that service for, educate them about you and what you can do for them.
great. Do you use any tools to educate them, or just like when they just sit down in front of you, just give them any information that you're looking for? Do you have any
Oh,
training?
yeah.
Yeah.
We put our processes on our website. We put out pricing guides on our website. Um, we do our best to walk our clients through the process. So by the time, if you've gone to our website, you will understand our process and you have chosen to work with us because you have an understanding of our process. Then once we start talking to our clients, we actually have presentations that we do for them during our initial calls. So they really understand the value that they're getting from us.
And I believe that you also set your website, not like digital brochure, it's a portal for you. People are learning from that, and it's also working as an appointment setter, right? That people are contacting you, and because dive into marketing a little bit, yes, you have to make the website visible. Website is a very fundamental thing, but we have mentioned that so many different times on our episodes here.
Right.
But marketing, our website is very important. How do you create traffic over that website?
You know, uh, so we do a lot of SEO, and we do a lot of Google ads and Facebook ads. And we just really try to focus on our headlines and being number one and getting Google reviews. I have a really good team that gets, we don't have a problem getting Google reviews because we have good product. But the more you can get out there, the more you do like podcasts or like I was just in a magazine, Modern Home Builders, all that different thing that you can connect. I'm not exactly sure exactly how it works, but you backlink or something. And then that just really promotes your website. So when you go to CRD, you can see it. In fact, we just started getting clients from AI, Chat GPT. It's amazing, and we did it offsite because I was like, "No, we didn't." And no, we did it outside of our, location, in around Washington just to see if we would come up, and we did. So, you'll never know where you'll come up. So you just got to get your stuff out there.
Yeah, exactly. This is very interesting moment to see ChatGPT is bringing leads because Terry, imagine that someone is just like a raving fan is just recommending your business to their friends. N- AI is your referral. His that system is referring your name to the people. Isn't that great? So
Crazy.
yes, yes, there's a process. We will talk about if there are some audience here, they would like to learn more about that. But folks, I will be running a generative engine optimization webinar coming up next month. So I will share the information on our website. So we'll talk about that. I know that is very important because just to be able to being recognized by the search engines, I know that you would like to learn more about that. And it's going to change the way people that make search because right now, as you can see, when you make searches on Google, you will see AI answers on top of your search engine results pages. No ads anymore. Sometimes even top of the map results that you will see. Though, so we will talk about this just to give you like a little parenthesis without even stealing your thunder here. Just wanted to talk about that because we have a really big webinar that's coming up. So I will share more and more details for you guys a little later. But I don't want to like really interrupt my guest speaker here because she is here for a limited time, folks. You can steal me anytime. She is here for a limited time. Let's go back to our conversation. So, Terry, so let's talk about the qualification of the lead. Let's say we have a great website. People are coming here, there, and they're requesting something. And I'm sure not all these leads are great fit for you. Sometimes you have to say no to these people without breaking hearts.
Right.
How do you turn these guys down and how do you qualify? How do you disqualify?
Okay, so our biggest qualifier for us is service location. So if you're out of our service location, we will then refer you to one of our competitors. And we have a really close relationship with all our competitors, which may sound weird, but we all refer to each other, especially for out of service. We will talk to almost everybody who sends something in, but we respond within 1 to 2 days, sometimes same day on all our leads. You either get referred, um, or you get asked to have an additional conversation, or you are just told, this won't work for us, or this may be out for this reason. But we respond to every single lead, period.
Do you use a tool to respond them, or you just like maybe a texting? You're just calling them. What is the
Yeah,
way?
we have a client services department, and that's part of their job. And so they review the leads every single day and they respond. And we use HubSpot. So we have the ability to text through HubSpot. We can email. So whatever they decide that they're going to do for whatever client, that's their decision. I let them deal with that, but that's how.
Just to open a parenthesis here, folks, HubSpot is a CRM program software that is allowing you to sometimes automate your conversations with different prospects, right? Terry, what is the most like use cases that you have HubSpot in your business?
Where do we use it the most?
Yeah, use some I believe those text messages, I believe is something.
Yeah. So basically, we use it to track everything for a point of contact through a design agreement. And it is automated to keep in touch. So if we sign somebody and they haven't started design, there will get emails that go out. There's an automated email. It's also really great if somebody, it's amazing. It's hooked to our website. And if somebody goes out to our website and clicks on kitchens, and then 2 weeks later clicks on bathrooms, or then goes in and reads our process, HubSpot assigns it a number, like, I don't know, if like 1 to 10 or something. And then once they get to a certain number, then we have automated emails that start going out. Hey, I see you're looking at bathrooms and have a good understanding of our process, and so then we start communicating with them like that. So it's a really great tool, and it helps us um, limit our work, makes our team much more efficient, and it doesn't do it too much though, because I don't want a cadence where a potential client might feel like we're tracking them. So
Automated messages doesn't
yeah,
feel like so authentic, right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, thanks so much for sharing this because, folks, as you can see, if you have a few leads, if you have just referral, you may not need HubSpot or go high level or any kind of CRM system in place to get back to those people. These are some of the tools that is, just like Teri said, just giving you some shortcuts. And if you have a team, you can evaluate your team performance just by how they are performing and getting back to those prospects as well. But at the end of the day, you'll be looking one thing. If you just don't need it software here, just because Teri has a big team over there and she needs to see what's going on, that's where we have a CRM system. But if you're just starting, Teri, do you think that if you're just starting and you're just making your first couple of $1,000 from your job, do you think that we have the CRM on the get-go?
No, it wouldn't make any sense. You wouldn't see your our ROI, return on investment.
Right, exactly. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for sharing that. Well, let me wrap up here. I just have one final question here before we wrap up. Well, this is going to be a little high level question. It's not going to be talking to the new people who just started the business, but some of our listeners, they have revenues around 1 million, 3 million, that area, and it's really okay scaling. And if they would like to really hit like 5 million plus, where it's going to be like maybe a big game changer for them, where they're going to be on top of the business instead of in the business, right?
Right.
What's the smartest financial move that they should make this year to get there?
I would say the smartest move that they could do would be to make sure that they have a job tracking system. Make sure that, they're using some sort of accounting software and that they have a way to track their gross profit and some of their KPIs. That's going to be huge. You start there, and then once you get a good feel for what your business is doing, then you can do a CRM, or then you might do Builder Trend. Things, you're always looking at ways to become more efficient, right? And get the return on the investment.
Great. Wow. Thanks so much. So as far as I understand, you're just saying hard work will take you at some certain level and your systems and processes will take you up there.
100% correct. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing conversation, folks. I'm sure you enjoy this conversation as much as I do. And I don't know, Teri, I cannot thank you enough just being here, sharing all your wisdom and all these experiences here. Well, if someone has a follow-up question, sometimes it happens. And some of the people, maybe sometimes they have some follow-up questions. What's the best way? Is that good? Can they go to your website? Well, I don't recommend you to share your phone number here because it's going to be distributed thousands of people. But what do you think that is going to be your website or any maybe email?
Yeah, go to my website and click on the contact me, click on the contact and it will go to the main mail. And if they just put in the podcast name and send me a question, then I can respond back easily.
This is perfect. This is great. Well, folks, you see that we keep hosting stellar and pioneer people from our industry. And Teri, again, thank you so much for being here today and all these golden nuggets. That was another episode of Remodeler Success Podcast. We're going to see you next time, folks. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
If you would like to generate more leads, please visit rtamarketing.com to get a copy of the book, Remodel Your Digital Marketing, an integrated online marketing guide for kitchen and bath remodelers. This has been another episode of the Remodeler Success Podcast. Thanks for listening.